Rosemary's Baby, just a few words. How eloquent and mortifying a vehicle to demonstrate wide-eyed naivety and post-war American post-Greatest Generation male entitlement. The film is about Guy Woodhouse, more than it is about Rosemary, as far as I'm concerned. Note how Guy acts around Rosemary versus other people, who he is polite to, his elders, and then bravely mocking of them when their backs are turned or they are absent. Guy is a talented actor. He only becomes likable, and it only becomes apparent to us why Rosemary initially may have fallen for him when he starts playing the part in the employ of their sinister neighbours, the Castevets. Rosemary's Baby is a validation of your concerns that seemingly kindly yet creepy old people are indeed vile and predatory Satanists. So are certain insurmountably talented auteurs, so let's not even reference their name. Perhaps they don't even deserve to be associated with this film's creative success in retrospect. Some sort of justice is required for them. It is so sublimely directed, whatever the circumstance, obviously. William Fraker's cinematography is some of the best of the 1960s, the cast is some of the best acted in all of American cinema, a magnificent score, a script so superlative that one might presume it began as such rather than adapting a presumably, I've not read it, incredibly able horror novel from the generally celebrated IR-11. Anyway, back onto Guy Wodehouse. Treats Rosemary like his prize. He sees himself as a fictional character in some hack action male power fantasy dreck, as she might be written for him on a TV show. Guy, like many men of his generation, and now, had no intention of divulging their true selves, their inner psyche, to their romantic partners, to their spouses, not as much as the mate might toward himself. Why? Because his true self is to brag amongst his male peers. He may love Rosemary to a point, but she is a validation of his ego first. Revealing his true self to her might ruin the fantasy, the notion of her as an ideal, rather than as a partner for his truer self. Guy's offering of Rosemary's body to the Castevets / the Coven is ultimately not a difficult choice for him. One prize is interchangeable for a greater prize, and Rosemary was first and foremost a prize for him. Is Guy ever sincere around Rosemary? Does he ever treat her like a human being, even prior to their dinner with the Castevets? Even if the film featured no supernatural incursions, it would be a film about a wife who is raped by her husband while she sleeps, regardless. I think if the feminist continuum wants to argue for the existence of a patriarchy now or at one time in history, claims which don't deserve to be scoffed at whatsoever, men are thoroughly the victims of this too. It has never been denied. They ought to be citing Rosemary's Baby as an illustration of the suffocating experience of a vulnerable woman in a man's insidious gaslighting world, though I also can understand why they might choose not to on principle. If Rosemary's Baby were any less disturbing, it might have been a fatal half measure and diminished one of the most powerful, unforgettable, and flat-out greatest films ever made.